Good afternoon and welcome to the Code Enforcement Board regular meeting. It's Tuesday, June 8th, and it's 2 p.m. Will everyone please silence their cell phones or any other electronic devices they may have? Will the Deputy Town Clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Lienson has not joined us virtually yet. Mr. Pearlman.
Present.
Member Cherubini.
Here.
Member Perlow.
Here.
Member Slam.
Here.
Chairperson Burnage.
Present.
Town Attorney Rubin.
Present.
Code Enforcement Officer Manco is in the audience. Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I ask, is there a second to approve the agenda? No, we need a motion. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a swearing in of the public. For those giving testimony, please raise your right hand. Stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in by the Deputy Town Clerk to provide testimony for this case you are affiliated with.
Okay, please raise your right hands. By the authority vested in me as a state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
There being no public comments, the next item is the approval of the April 27, 2021 Code Enforcement Board regular meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes of April 27th? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to approve the minutes of April 27, 2021. Is there a second? It's been moved and second to approve the minutes of April 27th. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. There's no unfinished business. The new business is the nomination and election of a vice chairman. Nominations are now open for vice chairman. Are there any nominations? All right, Miles is nominating himself. Oh, wait, is there a second? Are there any other motions or any other nominations, I mean? There being none, the nominations are closed. The motion to elect Miles as vice chairman. Second? Been moved and seconded to elect Miles as the vice chairman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passed. Next item is case number CC 2021-04-003, Mildred Booth, 4511 South Ocean Boulevard, apartment 506. Legal description, 45 Ocean Boulevard, Building 1, Apartment 506. PNC is 24-43-47-04-10-001-0506. Building permits required. That's the violation. Observe complete unit demolition without permit. Is there any ex parte communication? I have to exclude myself from this one because I knew Mildred. She died December 9th, one day after her 90th birthday, and the apartment has been sold to another person in March. So I believe that person would be the issue here. I don't know if you have to go through the whole process again.
Yeah, Jason will go first, but you don't have to recuse yourself.
I didn't hear you, Attorney Rubin.
Oh, I said, I believe the case is going to be dismissed, but even if it wasn't, you wouldn't need to recuse yourself because you knew her.
All right, thank you. I now open the violation hearing. Jason, would you?
Yes, Code Compliance Officer Jason Manko. So this case, we're going to go ahead and close. The violation was discovered after transfer of ownership, but before the property appraiser had changed the address. So this case was opened under the prior owner's ownership. And we're closing this case and we're going to revisit, we're going to issue a new notice of violation for the work without permit. And this will
All right,
come
so-
up at the next meeting.
So it hasn't been resolved then?
They are in the process of applying for permits. They have not been issued yet, but we have an issue with the service. So
Okay.
we're dismissing.
Thank you. Well, there's no offender here to discuss this. Does the town staff have any, no, they wouldn't have any questions. Does any of the board members have any questions regarding this matter? If not, then the public hearing is now closed and there's no further action on this at this time. Is that correct, Jason?
That's correct.
All right, the next item is case number CC 2021-02-004, Joshua Davison, 1015 Russell Drive, number D, legal Shamrock 1 Cond, Unit D, PNC 24-43-47-04-22-001-0040. Code section 30-122A, building permits required, violation, kitchen demolition without permit. Do any of the board members have any ex parte communications in this matter? Then at this time, I open the violation hearing. Will the code enforcement officer, Jason Manko, please give his testimony and recommendations at this time?
Yes, sir. Code Compliance Officer Jason Manko. This case, permits have been issued for this work without permit, so we are now closing this case. They're in compliance.
Thank you. Don't think we have to go any further then on this one.
You do not.
Next item is case number CC-2021-03-005, Eric Bernier, 4205 Intercoastal Drive, legal description Bellito LT 28 BLK 4. The PNC is 24-43-47-04-02-004-0280. Code section 12-4D2, temporary construction fence maintenance. And it's again 12-2B, construction site cleanliness, construction site safety. The violation: observe slit fence in disrepair and litter and debris present in and around the grounds. Do any of the board members have any ex parte communication in this matter? There being none at this time, I now open the hearing for the code enforcement officer, Jason Manko, for his testimony and recommendations regarding the violation.
Inspector Jason Manko, Town of Highland Beach Code Compliance. Case number 2021-003-005, 4205 Intercoastal Drive, Highland Beach, Florida, 33487. I have submitted the following evidence, proof of service, supporting documents, and photos taken of the property that fairly and accurately represent what was observed during an inspection on March 19th, 2021. On March 19th, 2021, the property was inspected and the following violations were observed. Construction fence and silt screen in disrepair in violation of Town Ordinance 12-4D2, temporary construction fence maintenance ordinance. Litter and debris observed in and around the job site, violation of Town Ordinance 12-2B, construction site cleanliness and construction site safety. On April 12th, 2021, a notice of violation was sent to the owner listed on the property appraiser public access tax roll, Eric Bernier. Service was obtained by posting at the property address on April 30th, 2021. In addition, a copy of the notice was also posted at Town Hall. The property is currently in compliance. However, since compliance was gained on this particular case, there have been 3 recurrences of unsecured site violations, 3 recurrences of litter and debris in and around the job site. The town is recommending an order of finding the property in violation, but is now in compliance so that in future violations will be regarded as repeat violations. So that's what the town is asking for.
All right, so there's no fine at this time.
Not at this point, other than the cost of prosecution at this point.
All right, does the board have any questions of staff?
Wait, just 1 second.
Put your mic on.
This property was served, you said, on 4/30, April 30th of this
It was
year?
posted, yes, posted April 30th of 2021. That was when the hearing was posted on the property itself.
Is property owner here today?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Oh, he's here.
I'm here.
He's on Zoom.
All right, the property
Yeah.
owner will get a chance to talk after Jason is done here. We're
Right.
questioning staff right
Um,
now.
So you said he is in compliance now, but you,
This has been a habitual property. There's construction going on the property. So there's been a habit of litter and debris flowing onto adjacent properties, screws, nails, as well as the site being left open over the course of the night, sometimes weekends. And it's kind of once I see the violation, I give them, they got to close the site. I can't give them 10 days to secure a job site. So we need to get this so that when the next time it happens, we can move right to a hearing because it's just a compliance problem at this site.
okay.
My question is, when you observe this now, you put a stop work order on immediately?
No, it's not necessarily a building code violation. So it just goes through the municipal code process, as we're doing now. If the building official wanted to, he could stop work on for repeat code violations, but we're trying to gain compliance through this manner.
Okay, thank you. The offender may now give testimony and provide your name and affiliation with the violation, please. Sir,
Yeah. I'm Eric Bernier. I'm owner of Gestion Eric Bernier, owner of the lots on 4205 Intercoastal Drive, Bellevue, Island Beach.
yes, do you have anything to say at this time?
Yes. First of all, as you know, I'm not on site. I'm in Canada right now and cannot go there since March 20. I had a talk with my contractor. Honestly, he is trying to get into the meeting, but he's not able. He was registered. So I had a call with him after I received the notice, and my opinion is a lot better since that. I had also a call with one of my neighbor to see if something in particular was bothering them, and we had a good talk about that. We have a good relationship. I just saw a picture of the job site. I was not there, but actually, I think we are doing better. We will act to do better. We took some Josh hire somebody to be sure that everything is closed and clean. So that's it. Unfortunately, sometimes with my understanding is with some work on job site, it's harder to be as clean as you required, but in general, I think we are doing better since that. So Josh, can you hear? Can you? Also, I have something to ask because actually the notice are coming to me in Canada, and there is always a delay between the notice and the time that I receive them. If possible, I would like that my contractor, Ocean Blue, will we be put in CC in the future, or will be noticed first? Because actually there is a delay between the time I receive and I can do something.
Mr. Bernier.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The town staff gets that. Jason, do you have any questions of the offender?
No, it's notified. Typically, I notify the contractors on site And yes, Mr. Bernier, there is a delay when, for instance, if the gates are left open on the property, if I send you a letter, you're not going to find that out for days, if not longer, if you're in Canada. So I typically address it with whoever is on site at the moment. Whenever the gates have been left open, I typically wait at the site until the first workers start to show up. And I've addressed, Josh is familiar, I've addressed, many of these issues with him, maybe not with a letter, but to the, the site supervisor.
Okay.
Mr. Bonnier, do you have anything else you want to say before the board questions either the staff or you? Do you have anything else to say?
No, I don't. No, that's it for me.
All right, thank you. At this time, the
Yeah.
board can question the
Excuse me,
staff.
hi, my name's Josh, I'm the contractor. Unfortunately, I was not able to connect in the beginning part of the Zoom meeting, so thank you for allowing me to be here. I didn't catch everything from the beginning. All I heard was Mr. Bernier's commentary that, once we were made aware of some of these issues in writing, we did take steps to address them to the best of our ability. I believe Jason and I are now in clear communication as to what some of these issues have historically been. So therefore, we have made improvements on the site. Jason and I have been in communication since then. I don't believe we've had any issues since that moment in time. I believe our job site is in good standing at the moment. I think we've been inspected multiple times since Jason and I had a site meeting several weeks ago when we were finally made aware that there was going to be a hearing. So I do believe we have rectified some of our communication issues. We did have some issues on site. It does happen from time to time. We are doing better to stay on top of them. So we're hoping that moving forward, we're able to identify the problems at an earlier time and get them handled as quickly as possible. So.
Excuse me, the deputy town clerk has to swear you in before you can really testify. He was? All right, I didn't see this morning. Thank you. Jason, do you have any questions of the gentleman? Okay. At this time, the board may question either our staff or the offender and his contract. Is there any questions?
I just wanted to clarify that what the town is saying here is that this has been a repeat occurrence. So what they're asking for is that in the future, things need to be cleaned up. There can't be litter and debris at the job site. And I understand there's been improvement and that's good. But what they're asking for here is that the next time it's going to go, there's not going to be a whole warning and it's just going to go right to a hearing because they want this to be basically habitualized as a, as a repeat occurrence. So it's going to be, there's not going to be much warning the next time it happens. So that's what I don't know if everyone's on the same page with that, but that is what the town, if I'm correct, is asking for here, correct?
That's
That
correct.
is correct.
All right. At this point, do you have anything else, Miles?
No.
At this point, then, will the staff give us a motion with the recommendation of the violation so the board can take whatever action it has to take?
So the town recommends an order finding the property was in violation, but is now in compliance, and any future violations will be regarded as repeat violations.
Is there a fine attached to that?
At that point, the town would recommend a cost of $250 for the prosecution of any future violations and $250 per day of any violations.
Thank you.
Wait, Jason, are you seeking that now? Or are you talking about future violations?
Because they're in compliance now, I believe we can.
Well, so there's no, I wouldn't set a fine amount, but do you want costs of prosecution for this case? Is that what you're requesting?
Since this is we are not issuing an order for them found in violation. I don't need.
Well, you're asking for a violation order now in compliance, future violation.
So I guess, yes, we would want the cost of prosecution for today.
Is it so
And-
moved? Hold on. Go ahead, Ruben. Mr. Ruben.
I was just going to say, and that's $250?
Yes,
Okay,
$200 for the cost of prosecution.
Thank you.
Can we have the motion one more time, please, so we all understand
Sure.
it?
Town recommends an order finding the property was in violation, but is now in compliance, and future violations will be regarded as repeat violations. For the hearing today, we're requesting a $250 cost of prosecution, and for future violations.
Don't get into future violations.
Okay.
Leave it at that. That's the motion.
One more time. The town recommends an order finding property was in violation but is now in compliance. Future violations will be regarded as repeat violations and requesting a $250 cost of prosecution.
Perfect.
Thank you. Is there a motion to that effect? Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded with the motion. Will the deputy please call, is there any discussion?
The only discussion is well, for the future violations, what you said was the same as any other violation. If it's a.
Right. Well, that will be,
violation.
Mr. Slam, that'll be up to the board. It could be up to 500 for repeat violations, 500 per violation per day. But that will be assessed if it comes back as a repeat violation.
Okay.
Thank you. Will the deputy town clerk please call the roll?
Member Pearlman,
Yes.
Member Perlow,
Yes.
Member Lee Ensign,
Yes.
Member Cherubini,
Yes.
Member Slam,
Yes.
Chairperson Burnage.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next case is CC 2021-02-006, Bellito Property Owners Association Incorporated at 1124 Highland Beach Drive. Legal is Bellito LT8, parentheses, less capital TH, capital PT, capital K, \A, units 1, 2, 3, BLK2. The PNC is 24-43-47-04-02-002-0084. The code section is 30-122A. Building permits require the violation, observe dock piling installation without permit. Do the board members have any ex parte communication to disclose in this matter? There being none at this time, I open the violation hearing and I turn this over to Code Enforcement Officer Jason Manco for his testimony and recommendations regarding the violation. Jason.
Thank you. Inspector Jason Manco, Town of Highland Beach Code Compliance. Case number 2021-002-006. Address is 1124 Highland Beach Drive, Highland Beach, Florida, 33487. I have submitted the following evidence, proof of service, supporting documents and photos taken of the property that fairly and accurately represent what was observed during an inspection on February 11th, 2021, and on June 8th, 2021. On February 11th, 2021, the property was inspected and the following violations were observed. Dock construction and piling installation without permit in violation of Town Ordinance 30-122A, building permits required. On February 11th, the notice of violation was sent to the owner listed on the property appraiser public access tax roll, Bellito Property Owners Association Incorporated. Service was obtained by posting at the property address on April 28th, 2021. In addition, a copy of the notice was also posted at Town Hall. Property was inspected on June 8th, 2021, and violation number 1, dock construction and piling installation without permit, remains on the property. The town recommends 30 days to comply this violation at $250 per day and $250 for the cost of prosecution.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions of the staff at this time?
Those pilings, are they over 8 feet?
I don't know. That's why
I'm looking at the
that's why
picture.
we're
It
requiring
looks-
them to get a permit. Yeah.
They look pretty high.
Well, there's no permit for the work, so we have no
Yeah.
idea if anything is compliance. That's why we're requiring a permit be obtained.
Any other questions of staff? There being none, does the offender now wish to give testimony? And please provide name and affiliation with the violation.
Explain your situation.
I'm Richard Mendelson. I am the owner of unit number 1. And our engineer, Steve Holdaway, was supposed to be here. He was supposed to be on his way to explain the delay and the reasons for everything. And he is not, obviously he's not here. So all I can testify to is what he told me earlier today and in the last weeks or two as I've been following up on this. Is that something that you would want to hear, or that is
Please.
germane? Well, originally when we had the dock, when we contracted with the dock, it was only, we only originally contracted for just replacing the boards on the dock. And for that, we were under the impression we did not need a permit for that. After they pulled all that stuff off, they decided, we all decided, but they recommended to us that we needed to replace the pilings. The pilings were much worse than they had originally thought. And we authorized them to go ahead, obviously at great additional cost, to replace the pilings. And I don't know anything about permits or whatever, but apparently permits are required, and they went ahead and did it without the permits. Everything that was done that I could see was direct replacement. The pilings were taken out of one piling at a time. They were taken out, exact replacement, height, everything put in there. So visually, everything was exactly the same as it was before the construction. I believe as they were finishing up, or after they finished up, the Mr. Manco or somebody from the building department noticed the construction, noticed that we did not have permits, and notified us that we needed them. And on that day, we immediately hired an engineering firm who was supposed to be here today to get the necessary permits and do what was required to get the dock into compliance. That was done apparently, I believe it was probably February 11th, the day that they were working on the dock. Didn't take them very long to do all this work. I was told not to worry about it. We paid the engineering firm a good sum of money to do what needed to be done. And they said, don't worry about it. We'll handle it. And the next thing I heard about it was the notice that was put on my door that we were not in compliance, that the permits had not been filed. And I immediately called the engineer, and they told me that they had several major issues with, I'm sorry,
It's got the timer on him.
am
That's
I out
all
of
right.
time?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was told that there were several issues with the permit application, one of which, the first one that I was told, and I don't know if any of this is true, but I assume it's true. I don't have any reason to believe that they weren't truthful in telling me this. But initially, probably back in March, they were ready to file all the paperwork. They were ready. They had all the paperwork to file, and were then notified that the town was only accepting digital submissions. So they had to go back and I don't know what is involved, but they had to create all the surveys, et cetera, in digital format to submit them. And that took a fair amount of time to get through the system, because I understand the system is fairly new. I had trouble myself logging into it and finding anything out about it. So that was the first thing that was an issue, was the paper submission versus the digital submission. The other thing that I was told was that when they finally got the digital submission in place, the communication was done by email with the person that submitted the application. That's just the way the system is set up. And I was told that that person passed away 3 or 4 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so all the email communication was going nowhere. And so they straightened that problem out. And I think everything is good now moving forward, that we should be able to, the engineers and the contractor should be able to submit all the forms, what's required in a timely fashion, and hopefully we can move forward and
Okay, thank you. Jason, do you have any questions of this gentleman?
At this point, no, my understanding is he needed at least a couple of weeks to finish the permit. So our recommendation of 30 days should be more than sufficient unless I don't know if he needs more time for the permit. I mean, again, we're requesting 30 days. So I don't really have any other questions, but
Okay.
Other than the time.
Thank you. Does the gentleman have anything else he wishes to
Yeah,
say?
I would like to, 30 days to me, obviously it's gone a long time from February 11th to now, but we know what some of the issues were. I have no idea because I go into the system, I can't see what's submitted. I can't see what is still required or that's just not available to me when I log into the system. So I don't know whether it's actually feasible to get this all done in 30 days. I would hope that it is, but I personally don't want to be in a position to come back here in 30 days and say, hey, the engineer, this or that or whatever, or there were a lot of issues that went back and forth. And I mean, we do have some issues with COVID and he has issues with his own staff, and I guess there's probably issues here in the town that I don't know that 30 days, I would hope that 30 days is enough, but if we could do more so that I don't have to stand here 30 days from now and say, we need another 2 weeks, because I really don't know the scope of the work that's involved.
This is just to get the permit.
No,
right?
the permit has been
Is this, no, not to get the permit.
I don't know what's involved in getting a permit. I don't know what we're missing. I
One
know
of the
we
owners,
obviously-
I would think you should.
I'm sorry?
Can you light a fire under your engineer?
I talk to my engineer every day. And as I said, I talked to him this morning. He was going to be here at 2:00 so that he could testify, so I wasn't hearsay here, but he apparently has gotten delayed on another job site or something. And I apologize for that, but he was definitely planning on being here. Matter of fact, I called in earlier and put him on the list so that he would be authorized.
All right, thank you. Does the board have any additional questions of this gentleman?
Yeah. First of all, I'm confused about the standing of the, what is your name, sir?
My name is Richard Mendelson. I am the owner of unit number 1.
Richard okay, because
Richard.
your name is not on this,
Right.
on this notice. It says Bell Lido Property Owners Association.
I am the representative for that.
You're representing
Yeah.
Bell Lido.
1124 is a 3-unit building. Okay. Unit 1, unit 2, number 3. I'm unit number 1. Another gentleman owns the other 2 units. And
Okay.
I think the permits are going to be applied through unit number 2.
And just to clarify, Doc Dogs, who are Doc Dogs? Are they-
Doc Dog is the contractor that we had initially hired to
Yeah.
do the work.
And they failed to get a permit? They were supposed to get the
Apparently so.
permit.
I mean-
They were supposed to do it though, Doc, because you said you hired an engineer too.
Well, remember initially the scope of work, we did not think, or we were told, did not require permits.
Who told you that?
Mr. Doc Dog. Okay.
Mr.
Because-
Doc Dog told you that.
Barry, I don't know his exact name, but it was just a replacement of the boards on the surface, replacing with another, and there was a word for it, cosmetic, or it sounded logical to me. Obviously, it's not logical that you could put pilings in without a permit, but we were we were already.
Yeah. I have a question for Jason. Is replacing what he's talking about require a permit? Yep, okay. So,
Yes, absolutely. any of the work, even replacing the boards, is going to require permits on the
That's what
dock.
I thought, yes.
And there may be a problem with those pilings being too high. I mean, that's another issue, but they might not approve it. I don't know.
All right, well, they
Look
were the
pretty
same
high.
height as what was in there, and if it's not approved and we have to lower them, we will do what we have to do to get in compliance.
Are there any other questions here? Jason, will you give us your recommendation in the form of a motion that we can decide whether we want to go forward with it or not?
Yes, sir. So the town is just, for obtaining the permit, 30 days, there is an application for the permit, but it was a minimal application. We cannot close the case until the permit is issued. So we're going to recommend 30 days to come into compliance with the violation, which is to apply for and obtain a permit for the dock. And that's going to be at a cost of $250 per day and $250 for the cost of prosecution.
$250 per day from when?
From 30 days.
30
After-
days from now.
Oh, after 30 days.
Yeah, so the motion would be find them in violation, give them 30 days to comply, or a fine of $250 a day, plus award the town $250 for cost of prosecution.
Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion or amendments? There being none, will the deputy town clerk call the roll, please?
Member Pearlman? Member Perlow?
Yes.
Member Lee Ensign? Member Lee Ensign?
You're muted, Joel. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Yes. Thank you.
Member Cervini? Vice Chairperson Slam?
Yes.
Chairperson Burnage?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I will now read announcements. On June 9th at 2 p.m., the Charter Review Board meeting. On June 10th at 9:30 a.m., the Planning Board regular meeting. On June 15th at 1:30 p.m., the Town Commission meeting. On June 24th at 2 p.m., the Charter Review Board meeting. On July 6th at 1:30, the Town Commission meeting has been canceled. And on July 8th at 9:30 a.m. is the Planning Board meeting. At this time, I don't believe there's any additional.
Chairperson Burnage?
Yes, ma'am.
One thing, the next Code Enforcement Board meeting is slated for July 27th, and I need to know the availability of everyone.
July 27.
Yes.
27th or
27, 2/7.
27?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Let me look.
My term expires July 1st.
You'll be good.
What was that date?
July
July
27th.
27th.
Tuesday.
Virtual. And the town attorney is already available. I checked with him already.
2 o'clock.
Just gonna let you know.
Lynn said yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm available.
I'm available.
June, you're available?
Mr. Lee
Oh.
Ensign, are you available on July 27th?
Via Zoom, please.
Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
There being no further business, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Jason, can I ask you a question, though? That has.
All right, go ahead.
I just want to ask, it seems that we have a really big problem with people never getting permits, doing the work, and then we end up here and they still get extensions. I think there's got to be somehow these people, I don't understand how they think they can fix things and do things without permits.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, to try to make sure that they do. And ultimately, if they're doing work without a permit and I find out about it, they're gonna get a permit. You know, so yes, it's a problem. It's a problem in every municipality. I'm sure it's probably less so here, just because, or at least it's easy to find them because this town is so small. It happens often, but usually when it happens, I find out about it. Somebody tells me about it, or I see it. So it's a problem, but it's that's why we have, I'm working for my salary. So, that's,
I remember even having to get a permit for a replacement of a water heater.
Oh, yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no, water heaters, definitely.
And it's an ordeal.
It's pretty much.
unit too.
Yeah, AC, water heaters.
In particular, we have a lot of condos here, so whenever you have work in a unit, it's going to affect everybody else. So it's pretty, limited, the amount of work you can do that doesn't require a permit, right?
Yes.
The policy more or less is unless you're painting or you're installing carpet, pretty much everything else is going to require a permit. If you're putting tiles in a condominium, if you're putting hot water heaters, ACs, changing windows, whatever the case, if you're doing any kind of work, it's best to call the building department and ask if you need a permit, right? If a contractor tells you, you can't always go by what they say because they don't know our local ordinances and everything. So, you're right. It's a problem, but when they're getting here, that means they're getting a permit. So,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
I'm just curious, the two young ladies are here. Are they here to testify again about something? Or?
There was
No?
one here for a case that was dropped
Oh,
earlier, but she
okay.
just kind of hung out for it.
Oh, okay.
And
This
the
is our
other one
intern.
is, he's an intern for the town manager's
Oh,
office.
Okay, all right, welcome. When I see, we don't get a lot of people here unless they're testifying, so that's why I
What,
was
these aren't
curious.
exciting hearings?
Pardon?
These aren't exciting hearings? I mean, we don't,
No,
I thought we should be selling tickets. I thought that's why the tickets maybe might have been too expensive. That's why.
Probably right. We'd probably get more people if we sold tickets. All right, there being no further business, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Been moved, seconded. All in
Second.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
45
The
minutes. We're
time
not
now
too
is
bad.
2:42.
Don't forget, we have